City Council and Administration. On May 4th, after I properly submitted my request to be on the council agenda for discussion, I began to ask the questions I had presented at a previous council meeting, was only answered with,
"No questions are going to be answered."
Is it because they do not have an option?
No questions are going to be answered.
Is that by their choice?
No questions are going to be answered.
After receiving no answers, I continued my research and found a few answers to the questions myself. I found that the City Council had been told that they were not allowed to talk to me. This information came from multiple individuals. I can now assume that previous Alderman Woody Street never returned my multiple phone calls for this reason. I don't know why such an order was made, since the city attorney was told that I do not have a lawyer or a suit against the city. So I'm curious why there was a gag order placed on speaking to me. It was around this time I was also accused of slander by a council member for the questions I asked at the previous meeting. I asked for clarification, but got none. If I'm not mistaken, not only is it the right of a citizen to question the representative government body, but it's a citizen's responsibility to do so. This is the basis for a government to have a transparency requirement. I do not understand how asking "why did you" or "how can you" questions be considered slander when the remaining part of the question simply describes what the city did. Further research found that in the executive minutes when my situation was discussed, there was no mention of the firefighter union's formal written request dated November 1st of 2021 for a meeting with the city to discuss a reasonable accommodation. This is the meeting that is required by the employers under federal law. There were several verbal requests prior to the written one. Verbal requests are recognized as an acceptable request under this law as well. These requests were not honored by the city, and such a meeting never took place. I have no reason to believe that the City Council was aware of this at the time that they were advised that a decision needed to be made. A City Council can't make informed decisions without all the pertinent information needed. Where was the due process to determine the best outcome for both the city and a dedicated veteran employee of more than 16 years? The City Council could not have, in good faith, made an informed decision without first meeting with the union, and yet it appears they did just that. They also made these decisions without following the federal law. I am interested to see how the City Administration and Council will now proceed, knowing the facts that I've presented here cast a dark shadow of discrimination yet again, just as other people in this room have experienced from the city in the past. You have the ability and the responsibility to correct your actions, while I and many others will see if you have the desire. As I have said many times before, you have my phone number. You may contact me at any time unless you have anything to discuss right now.